49ers fans, how we doing? Those faithful to the Bay, how we feeling? This is it. OTAs start today. The draft is just in a few days. How we feeling? Are we excited? You should be, because there's a lot to be excited about if you're a Niners fan, right? A lot of draft picks, and I think that this season is going to be better than than sort of the doom and gloom that might be predicted right now. But we'll see. Here's some this might be just a shorter video. We'll see how long the rants go, but some quick news and notes from the 49ers. Fred Warner and Brock Purdy are at OTAs. Yes, they have reported to OTAs. That is a godsend. That is very, very good. Very good. However, George Kittle is not there. So George Kittle chose not to report to OTAs, to some off-season training activities. However, Trent Williams is there. So here's the count. Here's the count so far, because this is a sort of fluid situation. In, Warner, Purdy, Trent Williams. You need Trent Williams, right? Out, George Kittle. I guess beggars can't be choosers in this regard. However, this is what I can say. A football team, and I've played like high school football, but a football team, in my opinion, a football team is so reliant on the other, so reliant on that cohesion, so reliant on fitness, on form, that I believe that that a player on the team under contract needs to be at every single function. So I think that a football team should have that family aspect just as much, if not more, than many other sports. Take this. Okay, we'll go for this. Rafael Nadal is a tennis player. Who does he have to, like when he trains, he's not reliant on anybody. When he goes back to serve, he's not reliant on anybody. When Brock Purdy drops back to pass, he's reliant on at least 5 men to gosh darn block so he doesn't get pounded, literally physically hurt. So I believe that more than anything, I believe that more than any sport, that football is a must for attending every off-season activity, every season activity, anything that you can be in the building for. I believe that you need to be in the building for. The Niners got 3 out of 4 right, but that one, George Kittle, that one kills me, honestly. And it's and this is why. I know that Niners fans right now are like, C-Train, what are you talking about? George Kittle is the consummate 49er. He is like the dude. If there's one guy that could skip these OTAs, it's George Kittle. Stop. That's actually what I mean in a weird. Follow me around this. Because George Kittle is the heart and soul of the Niners, because he's Mr. Niner, because he represents the Niners, whether he's at WrestleMania or whether he's hanging out or not, he needs to be in the building. The Niners need him, right? So like, I forgot who they signed. Niners signed a tight end from Jacksonville. He needs George Kittle to be in the building. Watch this. Brock Purdy, who is in the Niners building right now, and Trent Williams, they need George Kittle. They need George Kittle in there. They need to talk to him. They need to say, hey, how are you doing? Do you want to get lunch tomorrow? Creating rapport, continuing, getting consistency in there, training together, look into each other's eyes. I'm not even kidding. There is so much camaraderie and cohesion that comes into these activities. It's just, you have to take the fine tooth comb, okay? So what I'm doing right now is like, I see things that have happened. Okay, here. My name's C-Train. I see that the Niners haven't won a gosh darn thing since 95, since 94, 95. I see trends that I believe lead to things like not winning a Super Bowl in 30 years. Having your teammates not all there and all present is one of those things. It's one of those things that in the long run is just one more contributor to a losing season. George Kittle, do you want to contribute to wins are losses. George Kittle, get to your team. I know, it's like, C-Train, this isn't that big of a deal. It is. Your talisman, George Kittle, should be there. Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like going to see friggin', like, I don't know, going to see NSYNC and Justin Timberlake's not there. It's like, got it. So it's not NSYNC. No, seriously, though. Listen. So they're like a band or team, right? It's like, if you don't have Justin Timberlake, are you in sync? No. You're just like the three guys or whatever, and then not in sync. The Niners need every hand on deck and available, specifically because this is gonna be a tight season, right? Jed York and Parag have like literally been pocket pinching and like transferring all their money to Leeds United and trying to buy Rangers FC. I'm not kidding on all that. So it's just very interesting. And actually, let's go. This is just an omelet. This is brand new news. Earlier this morning, Davante Adams now plays for the Rams. I believe he's a Ram now. He's either a Ram or a Charger. He plays one of the LA. Yeah, I think he's a Ram. Okay. Where his agent told him multiple times when he was interested in San Francisco, when the Niners were interested in him as a free agent. He's a dynamic wide receiver. What did they say? The quote from Davante Adams' agent was that the Niners were a wholesale operation now, and that they were going to give you wholesale contracts. So he's saying that the Niners are cheap. I believe it. I believe that after not winning for 30 years, the Niners are looking for changes. And I believe that one of those changes is to not spend and go all out with any of the big market names or anything. However, so number one, my response to that looks horrible in the Niners. It makes the Niners so like literally you have players and agents out there saying that the Niners are cheap. The Niners have not retorted and they haven't signed anybody. So listen to this. Everybody's saying the Niners are cheap. The Niners haven't spent anything. They haven't done anything. So, okay, how about this? I'll just go up. From a neutral perspective, somebody who I would consider cheap would be who wouldn't spend, wouldn't commit, wouldn't spend that capital. Got it. The Niners are not committing. They're not spending capital. Other agents and players are literally calling them cheap. I would say that the Niners fit the definition of cheap. And while people say, well, yeah, the Niners are, well, you got to give them time, C-Train. And I've said this. You got to give them time because they need to re-sign some of their own players. Got it. Like Warner and Purdy, who aren't signed. So I get it. The Niners are like, look, we need to sign Purdy. We need to sign Kittle to an extension and Warner. So we're not going to do any of these free agent things. And now the Niners are like, we don't have Kittle re-signed. We haven't signed Purdy. We haven't re-signed or we haven't extended Warner. And also we're not going to do anything in free agency. Okay, I understand now. I understand. So this is a losing mentality, just to let you know. Now, so weeks ago, when I was like, we need to wait and see with the Niners. We still need to wait and see. However, if we're getting into like the Mays and the Junes, and now we're talking about like camps, I mean, camp starts then, the Niners still haven't spent anything, and their players still aren't re-signed, that's an F. That's an F for the season, and it's a D. It's a D for the season, and I can almost guarantee a bad season. So what I told Niners fans, I said, look, we need to wait and be prudent and be patient. And I'm still saying that. However, I said that in the beginning. I was like, we need to be patient because the Niners are going to shell out money and re-sign their players, and they're going to do it quick. The Niners haven't done anything. They haven't done a single thing. They've done nothing. So now we need to be a little bit concerned, right? OTAs have started. The draft is in 2 days. Niners don't have their starting quarterback under contract. They don't have them signed for the deal that like everybody has been wanting him to sign, right? Warner isn't extended, and now Kittle isn't anywhere to be found. I know he generally skips OTAs. I would have liked him to be re-signed with a fresh contract, and this would be the year that he didn't skip OTAs. And guess what? This might actually be the year that they won something because of things like that, because there's a correlation that goes along with buying into team, with a team spending and caring about you, and then you're reciprocating that spending and caring about the team. It's not happening. It's not happening with the Niners. There is good faith. There's good faith by Purdy and Warner, but the fact that Kittle isn't there, that kills me right there. He's the identity of the team. The team needs him to be there. It doesn't matter whether he needs to be there or not. The team needs him. That is so paramount. Everybody says he's a leader of men and whatnot. Well, then be a leader now. A leader is a leader all the time. What are we doing here? Look, I'm getting a little nervous. I'm getting a little nervous because of the Niners' ineffectiveness to successfully re-sign their own players, and moreover, and mostly, the negative effect of them not signing. Whew. Wow. So here's what I'm saying. If anybody holds out and they get signed, it's a loss. It's a loss, and the Niners aren't going to win. It's exactly the repeat of every other season that they've lost. Moving on. The 49ers are now rumored to be moving up and down in the draft. I actually like both ideas, and here's why. Trading up from the number 11 almost guarantees a true blue chip prospect. A game changer. And the Niners need a game changer. They're no longer in the lead of the NFC West. They have fallen off. They did not even make the playoffs, okay? So with the Niners changing their identity, this could be the time for a much needed addition. I'm going to give you two names. I'm going to give you three. I have two. I'm going to add one. Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter have all-pro blue chip potential. Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter have the potential to be the best at their respective positions in the entire NFL. And I'm going to add Mason Graham onto that list because I believe he's a blue chip defensive line prospect. I would love them to trade up because it all but guarantees that they do that. Well, in an ideal world. Trading down, it makes a whole lot of sense to me. It makes more sense to me that the Niners trade down. And this is why. The Niners have a lot more holes than in years past. And they probably aren't a blue chip star away, right? If the Niners had done anything, even spent extremely conservatively and just not spent, they might have a chance to, I would say that they could trade up because they've solidified their offensive defensive line of free agency and can trade up for the best player available, blue chip prospect, a game changer, right? A potential all-pro Hall of Famer. They haven't done that, and they haven't put themselves in the position to do that, so they're probably not a blue chip star away. So trading down would be more feasible technically because they're not one player away, because that's how the Niners want it. Getting solid starting and rotational pieces seems like a viable option for a team that's more than one player away. Here's what I don't want. Here's what scares me so much is that the Niners stay at their position and they just waste the pick. And they just pick a dude who nobody would draft in the first few rounds. Nobody would draft in the first few rounds. So, gosh, that really does. Here's an example. If the Niners stand pat, because they did this last season, so it's not a lack of precedent. If the Niners stand pat at number 11 and select wide receiver Kyle Williams out of Washington State, Kyle Williams could be a dynamic player. I would want the Niners to draft him in the 4th round, maybe the 3rd, okay? The Niners are that team that think that they're smarter, they're pretentious. They think that they're smarter than everybody, just like the Pearsall pick last season that didn't work out, right? I mean, he did. For where the Niners drafted Ricky Pearsall last season, he needed to have a Cooper Kupp type season or a Ladd McConkey season. You know the guy, Ladd McConkey. Look him up. He did way better than Ricky Pearsall and was drafted later. We cannot have that happen anymore. We can't just waste picks. Here's the thing. If the Niners are in the position and they want to draft like a Kyle Williams or Jack Sawyer at 11, I would rather have them trade down and not end up getting that player who they want, because it's that bad. It's that bad to waste that type of draft capital. So like so many people are like, no, trade down because the Niners hit on so many third rounders. It's like, wait, how about the Niners just hit on a blue chip, like a first rounder, right? That's how the teams win. That's how really, you got to hit. You have to hit on your prospects. So, God, it scares me. It scares me so much that they're going to trade up to number 7 for Jack Sawyer, who's like, oh no, that's not good. Okay, everything's fine, but we lost. We lost something here. We lost a really awesome coffee mug that was a soccer one. And that's okay. That's okay, because we're going to move forward. We're moving forward on this, but we have to have the Niners draft appropriately this time. They cannot just reach for the sake of reaching. They can't do it anymore. The roster doesn't allow for it. They haven't been good enough and don't have the talent, okay? 2 days till the draft. I have another video. I will definitely have another video before the draft. It might be draft day, though. I'll give some of my picks who I really love, and then we'll talk about it. Maybe the Niners will have made a trade by then. So, adding on, who is either, I want to know from you in the comments, 2 things. 1, who's your draft crush? Any round. Do you have any one player who you're absolutely loving this season and who you would want the Niners to draft? Number 2, is there any player out there, like a free agent, who you would still want to see the Niners sign? Hey, hope you're having a great week. Hope you're excited for the draft. This is going to be a good one, right? And of course, for your Niners content, like, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you next time, hopefully without breaking mugs from that was like a State Cup playoff mug from my soccer days. My history is now ruined. Luckily, I have a smile on my face, and hopefully you do too. And I'll see you next time at C-Trade Station. Have a good one.